Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Found an ancient power in the Scroll of Sealing. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto was created from the God Tree, and enjoy that guys. And also, over on Anime King I post a brand new final episode of What If Naruto opened the Gate of Alchemy and awaken all the abilities, so go ahead check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels: Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Kakashi pulled out 3 bells, and their objective was to get the bells from him, to come at him with all that they got, with the intent to kill. So with that he started a fight. As the battle quickly came to its peak, Kakashi was surprised by Naruto's strength, and not to mention speed, as Naruto was just that fast, and his strength was something else. As Naruto hit him with a kinetic energy, sending Kakashi sailing as he was never expecting that. As Naruto went to find Sakura and Sasuke and told them what they need to do, as they agreed after a while. So with that they worked together as he fought Kakashi. As Kakashi was surprised when he pulled out the bells, and they were gone. It was a transformation, as Naruto had tricked him. It was earlier in the fight. As the group already realized the real meaning behind the test, Kakashi had no choice but he passed them as he saw the group was able to do something that none of the other group were able to do so far. So from there they officially became Team 7. So with that they started to do missions after missions, as Naruto was able to get Tora the cat to calm down. As that was rather surprising, he also spoke to the Fire Daimyo's wife and told her that she was squeezing the cat too much. And that will forever end the mission of Tora ever coming back to Konoha. The cat just never wanted to be squeezed. As Naruto found out something as well, his mother. As Kurama had called him in the mindscape after Naruto saw the memory with his father, as he found out who his parents were. As he was still rather shocked by that as he couldn't believe it. As his mother Kushina was in the mindscape with him, as he met her and spoke to her. As Naruto was a bit upset, but he was relatively calm. It turns out that Kurama was also a part of Naruto's birthing process, as Kushina was having a hard time having kids, so Kurama helped with his chakra. But she never knew that he did that back then, so basically Kurama was Naruto's father in a sense, in a way. As Kushina slowly started to get to know her son more, as she was glad that he was speaking to her. After all, she thought that he would be rather angry. She thought he would be furious at her not telling him that she came here the moment she did. As the time go on, Team 7 have to share a train going Team 10. As Naruto came down from the heavens, shocking the members of Team 10. As he asked Ino for assistance, as he wanted to know what she felt like when she used her mind jutsu on people. She was not telling him any clan secrets, so she figured that it was okay, so she tell him. It felt a bit trippy. It was then that Naruto did something that startled her, as he spoke to her through his mind. And that was rather shocking, as she couldn't believe it. As he told her some more about his abilities, as she couldn't believe it. So it makes rather a lot of sense now that he could do that. But still, that was rather surprising. As the time went on, Naruto realized he had more control over the mind than even the Yamanakas, as he could take over someone's mind without them even noticing. As he tried it, when the Jonins all were called, as it was a meeting with the Hokage, something was wrong, but Naruto wasn't sure what it was. As he was feeling a bit of consciousness come in though. About the situation, after all, he would be invading someone's mind, commandeering someone's mind. As Kushina told him, it was up to him. But Naruto went through with his plan. As he took over one of the Jonin's mind and they went in there, unaware that Naruto was there. It turns out the Land of Wave needed their help, but there was a problem. It was not Gato, it was a group of bandits that were there. The group of bandits were being led by a man. From the description, it sounded like the War Beast. The members in the office were rather shocked to hear that. The War Beast was the only man that could claim that he got away from Minato Namikaze doing the Third Great Shinobi War. As the man was powerful and he got away from Yellow Flash. And that was a title upon itself. As the situation was dire in the Land of Wave. As they didn't have the manpower there to stop the War Beast or his soldiers. So yeah guys, it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the other what ifs, like what if Naruto was created from the God Tree over Anime King 3. And also what if Naruto, well, the final episode, opened the gate of alchemy over an Anime King, and enjoy that. So yeah guys, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get right into it. It has been a day since Naruto overheard the meeting between the Hokage and the Jonins. Currently, he was suspended in mid-air. His eyes were closed. So, you're thinking of taking this War Beast, huh? Said Kurama. I like it, kid. You feel challenged. So you wish to face this guy that has placed fear in the heart of Konoha Shinobis. Though, I want to ask you something. Why do you feel challenged? Well, I would say it's because of my father Essence. I think he had an unfinished business with the guy. Even though I don't know what it was exactly. I feel I should face him. If that makes any sense to you, said Naruto. Somewhat. It's more than likely you feel drawn to this War Beast because the fourth Kage fought him once. And that event left an impression through him that went on through his doppelganger. However, what makes him so is unknown to me. You care to put in your insight, Kushina? Well, Minato told me about this person once. He said despite his moniker, the War Beast was actually someone he could get along with if he did not attack first, whatever that means. But I think that Kurama is right. This War Beast left an impression on him, said Kushina. Whoever he is, he left an impression indeed. I can feel my father held him in high regards. Like he's one of the most worthy enemy my father's ever faced. It will be nice to meet him in person. What will you do if you meet him, said Kushina. And secondly, how do you expect to go to Naminakune? Fly, said Naruto. Yeah, I know that, said Kushina. What I mean is, do you expect Harrison to let you go to Naminakune? As Naruto merely smirked. Do you expect me to ask for permission, he said. He felt his mother pride at that, but there was a bit of trepidation there as well. I should have known. You're my son after all. Why would you even consider asking for permission, she said. The better question is, why did the thought of him asking the old bones came to your mind, said Kurama. Shut up, Kurama, said Kushina. Anyway, whatever way you want to deal with this, I expect you to get out of it well and alive, okay? Don't worry about me, mother, said Naruto. I can take care of myself. I know, she said. But it doesn't make me less worried. Noted, said Naruto. He turned his head to see Sasuke approaching, along with Sakura. I'll talk to you later, Kurama, mother, he said, as he flew down to greet his teammates. As Sasuke glanced towards him, you're early, he said. Why are you surprised, Naruto asked. You've been late before this, sometime even later than Kakashi. Why shouldn't I be surprised? Point taken, said Naruto. Though it's not something to be frowned upon, wouldn't you agree? That much is obvious, Sasuke said. So where is Kakashi? Evidently, not here yet. As Naruto glanced around, I guess that gives us some free time. Like always, Sasuke said, as he made his way off. But Sakura didn't follow him, instead she waited there. Naruto, I want to talk to you about something, she said. Concerning what, she asked. Well, you've been rather friendly with Sasuke lately. I was wondering if, before she could finish, Naruto beat her to the punch. If you're going to ask me to ask him what he likes in a girl, or to find out through investigation, I would have to decline this. That is your endeavor, not mine. Or if you're going to ask me to try and trick him into a date with you, I will have to reject that. And lastly, if you're going to ask me to say nice things about you that may or may not be true, I'm going to have to decline. Sakura was shocked. How did you know what I was going to ask? In that exact order, she said, confused. You're not that hard to figure out, said Naruto. Okay, fine, she said. If you won't help me with those three, then can you at least find out if he's interested in dating and stuff like that? Because it's kind of bothered me how he always rejects every advance from every girl. Naruto glanced towards Sasuke, who was retreating. That I can do, he said, but not now. However, don't put your hopes too high. Why not, she asked. Odds are, he's not interested in any romantic relationship. He might see your attempts as annoying. But regardless, said Naruto, cutting her off, I will try to find out if my assumption is true. Which is most likely true, he added to himself. With that, he left her to her thoughts. As Naruto went off and summoned a bunch of clones. You know what to do, he told them. With that simple sentence, they went off. The moment they left, Naruto sat down. As he closed his eyes, after a moment his body picked off the ground, as the wind started to behave erratically around him. If one was to pay keen attention, they would notice the wind was not normal, as it was being controlled by some external force that made it quite chaotic. This is something that Kushina taught him. If he was able to control all aspects of his ability while sitting still, he'll be able to obliterate his enemies with using something Kushina called motionless utilization. So while he worked on this, his clones work on his other techniques, like the kinetic shockwave, the kinetic force, the hydro ability. As Naruto started to accelerate the velocity of the wind, bit by bit until it became a small tornado, as he maintained it for a couple of minutes, until his head was hit with a kunai, the back part of the kunai to be exact, although it would have made a normal man lose his concentration because of the kinetic energy around his skin. He only felt a small pinch, but it was enough to allow him to open his eyes. As he saw Kakashi, if you could have been so kind to leave Konoha out of your war path, I would have allowed you to go on. But based on what I've seen, it seems you are quite drunk with power, to the point where your teammates' cry of stop were not getting through. As Naruto looked around as he saw the tree and the leaves that he had plucked while he was in that state. Apologies, he said. Kakashi shook his head. Now, he said, I have some announcement to make, but before that, can you please dust them off first? Naruto waved his hand as all the leaves were blown off of them. Sasuke coughed a bit. What is it that you want to tell us, he said. That in a couple of days, you, along with Team 8 and 9 and 10, will be having some days off. Huh? Why? Said Sakura. There's an urgent matter that Jonins must take care of. And thus, it's classified, and we cannot divulge much information. But I can say this much. It's regarding an old adversary of a past Hokage. He is up to no good, and since he's in a neighboring country, we of Konoha, we're called to stop him. So, the day off for you. Because as much as I want to train you guys a bit more, this problem must be dealt with immediately. Sasuke frowned at that, as he didn't want to postpone his training, but Kakashi spoke in a rather serious tone, telling him that whatever was going on was rather serious. We can still train on our own, right? Well, no one is stopping you from doing such a thing, said Kakashi. Well then, we'll have to see to it ourselves, said Sasuke. Well then, shall we begin our training for the day, he said. A few hours later, I'm going home, said Sasuke as he parted ways. Well, see you soon, Sasuke-kun, said Sakura, in a sad tone. You really do like him, do you, said Naruto. She scoffed. Well, of course, she said. Haven't you been paying attention for the last couple of years? Oh, and I remember you asking me out before, she said. You used to ask me non-stop about dates. Are you still grown out of it, said Naruto. Oh, she said. What made you get over me, she asks, as he noticed a slight curiosity and sadness in her voice, though he could be wrong. Well, the realization that you're still fawning over Sasuke, which won't go away anytime soon. In fact, I should have been over you once. I found out how you felt about him, but my stupidity prevailed over my reasonable thoughts back then. I see, she said, as she went completely silent. I may be wrong, but is there something saddening about me no longer having any romantic feelings for you? Asked Naruto after a couple seconds of silence from her. No, I'm glad, she said. There's nothing wrong with it. This means you won't bother me in asking me out on any dates anymore, she said, as she laughed rather awkwardly. I'm alright with it, she said. She was really not good at lying. Before he could say anything else or do anything else. Hey, Naruto! It was the sound of his childhood acquaintance, Kiba Inuzaka, as he turned to Kiba and his teammates. Hello, Kiba. Good evening. Kiba frowned. What's with the formal attitude, he said. It's just a habit now, said Naruto, considering how my father used to act, he said to himself. Did you just finish with your training session, he asked. Yeah, Kurenai Sensei let us go early. Did you hear that your sensei and my sensei and others are going on some mission? Yes, Kakashi told us that much as well. Where's your other teammate, he asked. Huh? Kiba said confused. What do you mean? Shino tapped him on the shoulder, as he turned to see that Hinata was no longer there. As Shino tilted his head towards a nearby tree, as she was hidden behind a tree, occasionally peeping towards them. Hinata, why are you hiding, said Kiba. At least hide behind Shino. You're too far away from us if you hide behind that tree. It took her a moment before she came out, as she stood behind Shino. Hello, she said, as she didn't make eye contact with either of them. Hello to you too, said Naruto, as that made her blush. Hinata Hyuga, correct? Yes, she said. Naruto Uzumaki, if you forget who I am. But I'm sure Kiba talk about me sometimes, said Naruto. That I do, said Kiba. I said that you're one of the stupidest kids in the class, but I needed more clarification. I also told her you're one of the most gutsiest kids I know, who has a lot of balls to pull off pranks. Really dumb, dangerous pranks. As Naruto simply smiled, and it takes a lot of bravery to use those words. Near to your mother or your sister, he said. Kiba laughed. You have no idea, he said. So, do you guys have anything planned or... No, we're going to get something to eat at the Okiyami place actually. As he noticed Sakura was there, along with Naruto. He remembered how Naruto used to act around her. But, it seems you guys have something planned as well, he said. What do you mean, said Naruto as he was genuinely confused. You know, like a date or something. Seeing that it's just the two of you, and you have a crush on her, said Kiba with a shrug. Hinata's eyes widened at that as Sakura's cheeks flushed faintly. As Naruto answered right away, his face was the same, no emotion at all. We are not, he said. We just happened to bump into you when Sasuke decided to part ways from us. Then how come Sakura-san doesn't follow him around like she normally does? Asked Hinata. Her tone sounded rather angrily and demanding for some reason, even though she was still hiding behind Shino. Interesting question, said Naruto, as he turned towards Sakura. Why don't you, he said, as Sakura felt rather awkward as all of them turned towards her. Well, I thought I might give him some space sometimes. Like you said, too much asking, and he would be bothered by it. Isn't it a bit too late to be thinking about that now? I mean, he's been bothered by that since you and Ino and the other girls kept on pestering him from the beginning, said Kiba. And you're just now thinking about that. It's better late than never, said Sakura. That saying would be a lot more effective if it had been more than a week, said Naruto. Anyways, I need to get to my apartment. See ya, he said, as he walked away. See you too, Naruto, said Sakura. Take care, man, said Kiba. As Naruto left, Kiba turned to Shino. We're still going, right? As Shino nodded. Well then, see you around, Sakura. Sakura noticed Hinata looking at her as she left. It was like she was evaluating her or something. Nothing else to do but go home, I guess, she said, as her gaze watched Naruto leave. She looked down as she made her way. Time skip. It was nightfall within Konoha, as a figure was moving on the rooftops. Rather swiftly, as the figure was chasing after something that was moving freely. The figure watched as the person landed. It was Sasuke. As he was the one watching the person landed, who was none other than Naruto himself. Why are you following me, Sasuke? I saw you acting suspiciously. I thought there might be a problem or something, but when you saw me you flew away. I think I should be the one asking, what are you doing at this time of night? Are you perhaps worried about me, or just curious, said Naruto. Look, just answer my question, damn it. Only if you answer mine, said Naruto. A bit of both, Sasuke said. Now, answer my question. Fair enough, said Naruto. I'm leaving Konoha for a short while. Where are you going? Naminakuni, said Naruto. It will not be long, although I am doing this without permission. Oh yes, it would be very kind if you did not tell anyone about this. After a couple of seconds of silence, Sasuke spoke. Is this about the mission that Kakashi Sensei and the other Jonins are doing, he asked. As Naruto eyebrow rose in amusement. How did you figure that out, he said. Nami Nakuni is very close to Hain Nakuni. When Kakashi said that they will be involved in a mission close to us, there's only a few that share the same borders close to us. And with what you're trying to do and what you told me, it's not that hard to connect the dots. I should have expected that out of you, I guess. Well, now that you know, what do you want to do, said Naruto. If Sasuke was honest with himself, he didn't have the slightest idea on what he should do now. On one hand, Naruto was very determined to go. Seeing his power and intelligence on first hand, Sasuke knew that he could not argue or force him not to do it. On the other hand, perhaps it was his rebel streak. Sasuke wanted to go as well. Time's running out, Sasuke, what will it be? I'm coming with you, said Sasuke. Now why would you want to do that, said Naruto. Just because. Can I come or can I not? As Naruto shrugged. Either way work for me. But I'll honor your wish. But if you don't mind, try to keep up. As Naruto jumped towards the roof as he started to move. The next afternoon. So, why did you let Uchiha brat follow you, kid? What's your angle in this? Asked Grandma. As Naruto glanced towards Sasuke, who was still following him, rather loyally if he must say. It's a gamble. He's not the kind of person that would be satisfied if he doesn't get what he wants. Kind of like a child really, said Naruto. By allowing him to follow me towards the heart of what I want to see, which is a war beast, I might be able to show him that sometimes we cannot get what we desire because of lack of strength, in which you would provide, Kushina said. As she chuckled a bit, that's kind of devious, son. But then again, I would have done the same thing if I had a teammate like him. What? Cleverly, use the situation to show him that not everything is achievable without proper skills or experience, said Naruto. Why yes, said Kushina. You can't tell someone like him what to do. You must show them, convince them, to make them accept one's view. Exactly my point. But don't worry, I won't let him die, said Naruto. This loss will be a test of my skills. Well, let's hope for the best then, said Kushina. In my personal opinion, if he decides to throw himself in danger, let him be. That's a faster way of teaching someone a lesson, said Kurama. Half tempting, but no. I'm not that kind of person after all, said Naruto. Let's just hope that this one's not like his father, said Kushina. What's that mean, said Naruto. As Kurama answered, it means that like most Uchiha, Runt, his father, had a 10-foot pole up his ass. So you have to see if this one has the same trait. We're here, Naruto. As Sasuke's voice brought him out of his mental thought, as he saw that you were near the dock, where the boat would take them to Naminakuni. As no one was there, and there was no boat. Damn it, there's no one here, and there's not a single boat either. Maybe the Jonins already got here and used the boats for themselves. How the hell are we gonna get across? There's only one way. Can you handle high altitude flight, Sasuke? You mean we have to fly there? Said Sasuke. Of course. In fact, if I was alone, I would arrive there a long time ago. But since you insist on coming, we had to walk. Unless, no, that would be too flashy. What were you thinking about? I was thinking about splitting the water in two, and we walk along the bottom. But too wasteful and too flashy. Better to fly. Alright then. What? As Sasuke was cut off as Naruto grabbed his shirt and flew off. Meanwhile, Kakashi, along with some of his Jonin colleagues, had arrived in Naminakuni a few hours ago. However, to say that they did not meet some resistance was to say that they were going to Naminakuni on vacation. The moment they arrived at the island, they met a large group of bandits. Before they met up with Tasuna, the one who hired them, the boat that they used to get there was destroyed in the attack and the captain was murdered. There were several shinobis that cast an illusion to hid the bandits from view, unless one was too close to them. Thanks to Kunai though, they were alerted, and they were much ready to face them. Due to the ambush, Kakashi knew that the War Beast knew that they were coming, and despite that they destroyed the opponents that faced them, the numbers were frightening. Their attack was hit and run, and some of them even escaped. So a new plan and tactic must be made, and if worse comes to worse, backup will be needed. The War Beast, as trained, is manned rather well to handle a few Jonins. He then heard a noise from afar. It sounds like someone was screaming or something, as he took one last look where he thought the sound came from. "Kakashi, let's go," said Asuma, as he nodded as they made their way. Meanwhile, Sasuke was breathing rather heavily as he was on the ground. "Who would have thought you were afraid of heights?" said Naruto. "It's not the height, it's the speed. Who the hell could be used to that kind of air pressure, hitting them right in the face?" As Naruto had forgot that he had a protective layer over his body that protected him. As a normal human, Sasuke did not have this protective layer, and as such he had screamed the whole way, and that was not even close to his maximum speed. But nevertheless, he apologized as they made their way. They were now deep in the area as Naruto created a clone. "Wait a moment, we will move out after he dispels," said Naruto. When dispel after he sees something, the information returned back to the caster. "We will move after then," said Naruto. A minute later, Naruto got the information needed. There was no one along this path, and as such they started to move. Walking instead of flying, Sasuke really hated that already, as they saw something after they continued to walk. "What's that?" said Sasuke. It was a tomb, with a massive cleaver around their height. A tombstone of a rather powerful swordsman, judging by the size, said Naruto. "Whoever carried his sword must have been strong," said Naruto, as he trailed his finger along the blade hilt. Yet however strong this person was, there was a stronger person that killed him. "I wonder who could that be," said Sasuke. "Don't exactly know," said Naruto. "Let us go." The moment Naruto left the grave, he felt cold. A cold instinct in the air. They were being watched, and this person did not hide their killer intent. "Naruto, do you feel that?" said Sasuke. Before Naruto could say anything, there was something whipping through the air, a lot of them. Sasuke moved to block, but Naruto was a lot faster, as Naruto waved his hand, deflecting everything. As Naruto saw that they were senbon needles, usually made to hit acupunctures in the human body, used by those who are quite adept in the field of medicine. As Naruto moved, but when he arrived towards the location, there was no one there. He then heard something fell to the ground. Damn it, he had left Sasuke unguarded. He flew back. Sasuke was gone. "Impressive. Whoever that was, they were fast," said Kushina. "He caught you off guard there. Now the Uchiha Bright has been taken by an enemy," said Kurama. "Hopefully, he's not a part of the War Beast Club." "Hopefully not," said Naruto. "It seems things have gone south, quicker than I expected." Time skip. Unknown location sometime later. Sasuke felt rather groggily after what happened to him. He just lost all of his energy and collapsed to the ground. As he tried to open his eyes now, his hands and feet were bound, as he didn't know where he was. As he heard the noise of someone tinkering with something. "You're awake." The voice was chilling. There was no emotion behind it. It was feminine though. There was no malice, just indifference. "Who are you?" said Sasuke. "That is a question I should ask you. You are from Konoha. Your forehead protector revealed that much. But the extent of your identity, and the reason why you're here, escape me." As a female walked towards him and Sasuke finally saw her. Well, despite the voice, she was wearing a mask, and her figure did not give away that much, as there was nothing that would help him identify her gender, or if he was a guy. The masked figure crouched in front of him, right at eye level. "Tell me, Konoha ninja, what is your purpose here? And who was that person that you were with? Why do you want to know?" Her hand lashed out. At least he thought it was a girl, and gripped his throat. "I am the one holding your life on the line. Now you will answer what I want to know." As Sasuke breathed out raspily as she released his neck, she was strong. "At least me and my teammate investigating this place. Oh? A group of Jonin were dispatched yesterday. They said that they were given a mission to a neighboring country. And me and my teammate, despite being Jennings himself. Jennings? With that kind of power, how could he still be a Genin? Huh, you tell me, Sasuke said rather sarcastically. Well, despite being a Genin, he decided to check it out himself. I called him leaving, and I asked him to let me come. And now we're here. These Jonin to speak of, how much of them are they? I'm not sure, but perhaps between 5 and 10. Why do you exactly want to know all of this? The figure stood. I may know why they're here. Do you? Said Sasuke. Yes. They're here to eliminate someone who has been terrorizing this country over the past few days and disturbing the economical and prosperity of the people here. That makes sense. But who could be so dangerous Kage would send several Jonins for his death? Is it you? Sasuke asked. The figure turned towards him as Sasuke could feel a glare. No. In fact, it means that we share the same goal, as I too seek the death of this person who killed someone important to me. A quest for revenge. Now that was something Sasuke understood. Who is this? He's called the War Beast, and he murdered my master, one of the greatest swordsmen of Kiri, Zabuza Momokai. Meanwhile that was going on, the Jonins were speaking in the confines of Tetsuna's home. I don't think we need backup so soon, one of them said. I'm not saying that the War Beast didn't train his underlings, but they catch us by surprise. And yes, they were skilled enough to attack and hurt us, but with the right tactic, we could still surprise him. How? You do know who we're dealing with, right? Another one asked. Bah. I'm sure whatever his supposed powers are, I'm sure they are just being over dramatic. There's no way he'll be able to lift a mountain. As Kakashi was thinking about it, he remembered asking his sensei about the man. And his sensei had told him the stories were true back then. Kakashi was surprised, as Minato had said the War Beast's strength was something like he never saw before, as the both of them had fought hand-to-hand combat. Minato had some degree of respect and fear for the man as well, as Kakashi had saw that back then, and that was some time ago. And Hiruzen was a bit apprehended about the situation of the mission. Enough, Asuma said, silencing the Jonins. We will continue the mission without backup, at least for the moment. However, if it's too much to handle, we will call for backup. We are Jonins, ladies and gentlemen. We should not be arguing about something like this. Understood? As they nodded. Kakashi didn't know why, but he felt like something was wrong. Meanwhile, above Naminakune, as Naruto scanning the area, whoever the person that took Sasuke was, they were quite skilled in hiding. Despite the small size of Naminakune, being unfamiliar with the place was quite disadvantage. But Naruto found the War Beast base. It was not overly large. It was made, filled with people with tents in surrounding walls, not by wood. It was smaller than the one that he had faced off with his siblings back then. Most people were doing regular activities, some of them were just lying around lazily. Now where's this infamous man? I doubt he's amongst these people, said Kurama. They all look rather unimpressive. Not the human that could generate fear or respect from your old man. While appearances can be deceiving, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to agree with him on this one, my son. I don't think the War Beast is among them. They don't have the horse head tattoo. Maybe he's somewhere inside the building. Maybe Sasuke is somewhere here as well. Who knows, said Naruto. Think about it, kid. Look at these people. Do you really think they could perform what you saw with those needles? That is true, said Naruto, as these people didn't seem to have the capability to pull off on what the person did that kidnapped Sasuke. Perhaps I can get some information, said Naruto as he looked down. Meanwhile, Sasuke didn't know what he did for her to bring him along so they can watch the War Beast base. Sasuke was surprised when he heard that name, the War Beast. His father had told him about that. The man that nearly defeated the fourth Kage in a one-on-one battle. Many claim that he had strength that can rip mountains apart with his bare hands, and that he can leap far away with a single bound. Sasuke thought he was fairy tale when he was younger, as those claims seemed rather off-putting, but considering it was the people of Konoha who spread that story, and the fourth Kage did had an interaction with him, perhaps the truth was, well, somewhere in there. Still, Sasuke did not really know. Now, depending on how things work out, he might be able to see this war beast and his strength up and personal, but he couldn't help but ask, "What are we doing here? And why did you bring me along?" As she was silent for a while until she spoke, "You are a bargaining chip. If I were to offer you to the war beast and his benefactor, I might get a window to open to strike. If the opportunity is not given and was found by your village shinobi, I will trade you for my life." Sasuke grumbled in response, as the person smacked him over the head with a kunai, as that made him grumble some more, but she simply just ignored him. After a moment, they saw something drop, like a rock, as it was able to alter its speed so it did not hit the boom. "What's that idiot doing?" Sasuke said, as he knew who it was. Meanwhile, in the camp. "Huh? Who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from?" The bandits started to ask. As Naruto merely looked around, there was a lot of them. As he looked towards the largest tent, he stepped towards it, but he was stopped. "I'm here to speak with the war beast," he said, as they all went silent. Before they laughed, "Hey, this guy likes a date with death, huh? Let me tell you, kid, the leader won't see you just because you ask politely. Where the hell are you from anyway?" "Where I'm from doesn't matter, but I'm here to find out why the war beast is harassing this settlement of Naminakuni." One of the bandits unsheathed his blade. "So, you one of those shinobis from Konoha? Now that I look at it, that's your forehead protector, right?" As he pointed his blade towards Naruto's headband. "If so," said Naruto, "what are you gonna do about it?" The man smirked. "Considering that you don't have a flapjack, you're not a Jonin that killed some of our brothers. So you're either a Chunin or Genin, that means you're outnumbered, unarmed, and overpowered." As Naruto raised his hand, as he flicked his finger, boom! The man was sent sailing by a force that slammed into his stomach as he crashed through several trees. As the place went silent, "Outnumbered," said Naruto. "Yes, that might be the case, but overpowered? Not exactly." Despite seeing what he just did, most of them went into fight or flight mode, and the fight mode jumped forward, but they were frozen, suspended in mid-air, as Naruto thrust his fist several times forward, even though he was a distance away from them, and he could not physically punch them with his fists. The kinetic force was more than enough to outright destroy them. "Now," said Naruto as the others did not came towards him, "will you call the war beast?" Suddenly, there was a shock wave of killer intent as it came from the largest tent. It even unnerved Naruto. "Well, now this should be interesting," said Kurama. Then a figure emerged. It was a rather large man. Short black hair, quite big in stature, sleeveless shirt, baggy pants. His muscles were dense and stood out like a sore thumb. He held himself with a lot of dignity. The whole camp was silent. "You seek for me?" he asked. "I do," said Naruto as he looked towards the man's shoulder. The tattoo was there, with a horse head with flaming eyes. "You are the war beast then," said Naruto. "I am. And who might you be, young man?" "I am someone that want to ask you about the reason why you're here." "Your presence was enough to bring several Konoha shinobis here, and why they want you dead. I only want to know who you're working for, and why you're here." "Is that all you wish from me?" he asked. His tone was challenging. "Well, if I have to be honest, I'm rather interested in you. Call it a gut feeling that I have." As the war beast scoffed, "Or maybe it's because I once fought your father to a draw. No doubt the son of the fourth Kage have heard the stories about myself." "Oh, that too," said Naruto. He's good," said Kushina. "So I assume that you are an Amikaze then." "I am his blood," said Naruto. "But where did you get yourself such a power? I doubt that it came from your father. As strong as he was, he didn't have the power to grasp things with his mind." The war beast raised his hand. "Do not tell. Let me assume. Did he came from a stone that glowed blue?" As Naruto's eyes widened. How the hell did he know about that? "Do not be surprised, Namikaze. I know of the power the stone holds, what it can give to people strong enough to resist the side effect." "Did you think that you were the only one?" "How?" said Naruto. "From what I heard, most people who had contact with the stone suffer a side effect. There's only one case that it gave beneficial effect, and that's me." The War Beast extended both of his hands to the side. "Defeat me, and you will note," he said. This person got his power from the stone that gave him psychokinesis, as fear and excitement started to bubble inside of him. Did he have the same power he had? Or was his power completely different from his? "Don't waste time assuming. Find it out instead," said Kushina, as her tone was a bit worried. As Naruto cocked his fist back and thrust it forward, a massive ear pressure shot forward at impressive speeds. It blew away several of his underlings and shredded the tent completely. However, there was two things that the technique failed to destroy. One was the base itself, considering that it was only 10 to hit one person, and the other thing was the War Beast. The man took the full brunt of the attack and just stood there, unharmed, unblemished, unbroken. "Impressive. I think you managed to hurt me slightly there. Knowing that you have such control over your power, Namikaze, I shall give you the same courtesy." Naruto was confused. It wasn't even a second. It wasn't even half a second. The next thing he knew, the man's fist was in front of his face. Meanwhile, what the hell? Sasuke watched as the War Beast created a crater. Lucky enough, Naruto was able to move just in time. That's the reason why he's called the War Beast. His legendary strength had never been exaggerated, not even once. They are real, and my master underestimation of him cost him his life. Meanwhile, as Naruto dodged just in time as he flew up in the air, the man's fist created an impact like a crater had hit the ground from the heavens. "Now I see the reason my father got into a drawl," said Naruto. "Remarkable. It seems our powers are different in terms of application." As Naruto flew, the ear pressure exploded as his fist slammed into the War Beast's stomach. The man was thrown like a bullet because of the speed that he moved with, and not to mention the kinetic force the War Beast was thrown away. The earth shook as the War Beast appeared in front of Naruto after running with immense speed to the point his feet leave craters in the ground. As Naruto blocked it, the air trembled from the contact. As Naruto kinetic force absorbed much of the blow, but the place shook. Trees rustled, the ground trembled. As Naruto tried to push the strength away, but the man's super strength was superior to his telekinetic force. As the War Beast pulled back his other fist, but Naruto used his kinetic force as it dropped inches away from his face, until he used his own hand now and slammed it in the man's face. But the War Beast's head just thrown back, his body stood still as he had prepared for it. He brought his head back and slammed it into Naruto's skull. As Naruto staggered back, he then turned and slammed the heel in Naruto's stomach. As Naruto was thrown, Naruto's body was knocked away through the camp for a long distance. "Pick yourself up and tidy the place in my absence," the War Beast said as he leaped away to chase after Naruto. It was like an explosion as he leaped, like a cannon went off. Meanwhile, Naruto! As he heard the voice, he got to his feet as he puked up blood. "Damn it, the kinetic barrier don't go all the way inside, does it?" said Naruto. "Kurama, a little help here." "Never say I'm not helpful to you," said Kurama. As Naruto felt his organs healing, he already felt his body fixing back up. He made a mental note to put a kinetic barrier on his organs to make sure that this never happened again. He then felt something as he snapped his gaze up. The War Beast was dropping like a meteor. As Naruto jumped away, his body was able to move out of the blast radius from the fists, but the thing was devastating. The drone exploded like a nuclear bomb and hit it as Naruto stopped right at the river. "You are strong, Namikaze," the War Beast said, "but it seems you are not unleashing your full capability." "Why is that?" the War Beast said as he approached Naruto slowly. "Sorry, I'm kind of new with this whole thing," said Naruto, still trying to figure the limits I can reach. As the water in the river shot forward, surprising the War Beast, as he was reminded of when he once captured that fish in a globe of water. It slammed into the man as he staggered, as Naruto then wrapped him in the water and lifted him off the ground. As Naruto altered the pressure of the water constantly, the War Beast grit his teeth as the pressure was getting dense and Dents trying to fold him and crush him. But he then brought his hand together and clapped it. The water was about to explode, but Naruto gripped it tightly and forced it back together. As the pressure of the clap had slammed into Naruto, but he still held on to it as the War Beast clapped once again this time. It was exploded. The War Beast landed as he coughed out some water that he had swallowed. But the moment he looked up, Naruto was above him. As Naruto slammed his heel into his face, the kinetic energy shot him like a bullet. Hundreds of trees were taken down in the process, as his body scattered the forest. The War Beast was able to slow himself down only for Naruto to appear beneath him and slam his fist into his stomach, throwing him in the sky. As Naruto was about to flow up, but pain, as he gripped his skull. Kurama, what the hell's going on? But there was no answer. He didn't hear anything, as he didn't understand. But the War Beast had dropped right in front of him. As Naruto turned into the fist, his body was launched. As Naruto crashed, the pain from the punch and the pain from his head hit him at the same time, confusing him. It spread throughout his whole body, rendering him unable to move. As he saw the War Beast approaching towards him. Was this it? Was this his end? He saw no way out of this. Before the War Beast could grab him, though, mist filled the entire place. This is his technique, the War Beast said. Clapping his hand, he blew away some of the mist. It was from that swordsman that he fought, but it did not help him defeat him. Once the mist was blown away by his clap, the Namikaze boy was gone as well. Someone had taken him. As he already knew who it was, so was Zabuza Momokai tool. Save him, huh? Well, the boy is still weak anyway. Killing him right now is not something to be satisfied with. The Namikaze boy power was similar to his own, and there was as much potential there as his own too. How did the boy got that power he already knew, but how much more powerful he would become after this? Well, that was important. The boy was his complete opposite. If he was using his power inwardly, the boy was using his outwardly. The War Beast's power was pulled inside, the kinetic force strengthening him, while Naruto's power was pushed outside. Hence the War Beast's durability, strength, and speed, because his power was packed inside his body. It was similar to what Naruto had, but it was different in a way. The last time I was this excited was when I was forced into a draw by his father. Let's see if you can match your old man power the next time we meet, huh, Junior? I hope you can do. He looked up to the sky with a smile. What your father failed to do all those years ago. The smile was quite sad on his face. Meanwhile, who are you? Said Naruto. As someone who's carrying him, someone who saved you. The female voice said, you were able to fight the War Beast on equal ground. Only few can say that. Who are you? Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Thanks for... As Naruto was cut off as he touched his nose, feeling blood. A jolt, as pain exploded in his skull. What's the matter? The Mashinobi said. I don't know. It's been happening ever since, as he was cut off once again. Hang in there. I'll get you to my hideout, and I'll see to your condition. He barely heard what she said, but even though the pain was excruciating, he had to stay awake because he was afraid if he closed his eyes and lose consciousness, he would lose his life in the process. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends via social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the other what ifs on Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, I need have 3 channels that post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and check them out and enjoy. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.